Howdy, howdy, howdy. Back in the corner, Kamal's Corner. Today we're talking about why you should move on the things that you feel your gut is telling you to move upon. Let me tell you a story. So, I was about 22. Right now, I'm currently 25 years old. I could have been making what I am making right now as a 25-year-old in my earlier years, but I was too scared of change. I was putting emotion over logic. That is the real lesson to be learned in this situation. Put logic over emotion, because that logic will push you further towards your dreams than emotion. I was working two jobs. One job was the ABC store and the other was Valvoline. And to be honest with you, I was making good money. It was a very tiring time in my life, and it was the highest drug abuse the highest drug abuse I've ever had. I was smoking nonstop just because of the pain, really, of working both jobs. I just wanted to relax. As soon as I had free time, I wanted to relax. I didn't want to do anything other than relaxation. Of course, I made sure the house was clean. Of course, I got my clothes clean, the chores that you do. But I had the offer of leaving ABC from me being pretty much a manager at the Virginia ABC, making $17.50 an hour, to being a certified technician at Valvoline making $20 an hour. I could have been making the same amount of money I am making right now in my ripe age of 25 if I just moved upon uncomfortability. I was like, oh no, I don't think I like it too much. I'm going to just stay at ABC. Even though the money was there, the people that were there are good folk. I was looked after, it was the boys. But at that time, I was too worried about people's outlook of me. I was too worried about what people thought of me, which is insane. Because right now it's like the farthest thing. Like, I don't give a crap. I don't give a big toe jam about anybody's opinion about me. Because at the end of the day, I am the one that's looking myself in the mirror. But I digress. I gave up an opportunity to be comfortable. I gave up an opportunity to be around people that I've been around for a year to 2 years. But there was no moving up. There was no higher position. And even when I was even when I was given that chance of going to a higher position, moving stores, I said, no, I like the store that I'm at. I want to stay here. That right there, being too comfortable, will be the reason you do not get to where you want to be in life. And that is one thing that has held me back. I don't like going back and saying, oh, I regret, because I don't regret anything that I do. It is a learning experience, just like any failure. It is a learning experience. Now I know how to move. Now I know what I need to do. But what I would have done differently is work at Valvoline, be there for about a year to 2 years. That money would have been good, and that's only as a certified technician. I could have become an assistant manager, gotten even more money. That is the thing. I could have had more money not paying much as rent. Right now I'm paying about 18. 18 for a one bed, one bath, right? And that's not including electricity or all my other bills. So after I foot the bill for everything, it's around 2100 to 2150 after all my bills. When I was working both jobs, I only had $500 I had to fork up a month. Only 500. You know how insane that is? If I was making the money that I'm making now, only at one job, only had to work 4 days in a row and have 3 days off, I would have been living life. because it wouldn't have been such a drastic change from my it wouldn't have been such a drastic change from my biweekly check, because from ABC I was getting $800 every 2 weeks. $800. I cannot imagine living off of that in my mid 20s right now. It's insane. And I feel so bad for the folk that have to live off of that. I want you to do better because you know you can do better. But if you choose to stay there, it is a government job and you do get government benefits only if you're full time, which being a lead sales associate, which is pretty much a managerial role, you're opening and closing the store. You're looking after the store on Sundays like you're a manager, but you do not get full-time benefits. Insane. Criminal, I might add. But I stayed there for $17.50 when I could have been making $20 in clearing. And that is the one thing about Valvoline, is that they let me work as many hours as I wanted to, no matter what. I could have been pulling 45 hours a week if I wanted to. And it was a weekly check. So you know how them taxes come out of weekly checks. You ain't getting much taking it out. So I could have seen, what, $700, $650 a week? That would have been perfect. 1 week out of the 4, I would have had the money that I needed for a month. Insane. So my lesson has been learned, and I want to make sure that people can learn from my mistakes. No matter who it is, at least one person can hear this and learn from my mistakes. Move towards logic over emotion. You can do it. Even if you do not have anybody in your corner, you can do it. You are capable. You are a person of power. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that every morning, because you are a powerful person. You are a capable being. You can do it. Man, it's insane for me to go back and think that, but yeah, just take it in and don't make many mistakes like I did. I'm a hard-headed person. I have to learn through doing it. I don't listen to people most of the time. Like, my mother can tell me however much she wants to tell me. I still have to put my hand on that hot stove to learn that it's hot. You know? But don't be like me. Just learn from people telling you their experiences. Of course, go about life the way you want to, but it is much better when somebody is beating the path for you so you could go along that path instead of taking that machete and swinging it through harsh, tall grass yourself. I hope everybody that listens to this is learning something each day. Definitely keep that as a regular occurrence, because learning does not stay in our adult lives as much as it needs to be. Yeah, we might. The difference between learning and the difference between knowing is two different things. Learning something means that you can do it and replicate it. Knowing something is you've seen it before. Like, I can watch somebody tear apart an engine 5 to 20 times, but will I know how to tear apart? How will I learn, or have I learned from that video to tear apart an engine? No, you're not going to learn until you have hands-on experience. Take that time to learn something in your day, whether it be about animals, whether it be about the patterns of nature, whether it be about agriculture, how to build a fire in the wild, how to build a shelter in the wild. Learn something, even if it's something small, but learn something. Use your brain, because the brain is the most powerful thing on this world. The brain is the most powerful thing on this world. You need to utilize it as such. I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for hanging out with me for a good 10 minutes. A good mini-otos. I enjoy doing these videos every day that I can. And I hope you guys tune in. And if you don't, I'm still making them. Have a good one, folks. I'll see you on the next one.